I think I've only ever watched like one thing from this FreedomToons guy before, and if I remember correctly, it was like it was a video about the concept of equality and equity. Like it was using a pizza analogy. It was really weird and really reductive and dumb, but I don't think he's like a Nazi or a racist or anything like that. Like I don't think he's like super bad, but he is kind of a cringy like libertarian right winger who is pretty cringe. He is still pretty cringe, and he makes these animations that sort of strawman the left and build like the stereotypical like the SJW freak out person. It's basically what you would expect out of a 2016 anti-SJW cringe compilation. So I'm probably going to want to blow my brains out in Grand Theft Auto as I watch this. So fuck it, let's get into it. Hit me up. It's called Black Lives Matter, How Black Lives Matter Lies to You. Or just Black Lives Matter Lies to You. Okay. Let me see. By the way, let me know how the volume is, guys. If it's too loud or too quiet, let me know. Wait, can we... Let's analyze this image here, because we actually have, like, his whole cast of characters, you know? I'll make myself disappear so you guys can see it all. Here we have, like... I don't know what this character is. Like... Wait, is this like a... Wait. Okay, I think that's like a little bit of like TNT or something strapped to this person's chest, and they're wrapped up in like towels or something. So this is like a... So this is like a Muslim terrorist, I guess? Like a Allahu Akbar memer? I presume? You have like... We are the 99%, but they're like millionaires here, like really rich people. So I'm going to assume this is... like the wealthy global elite that are supporting the liberal cause, a freaking out SJW with green hair, I suppose. In the background, it seems to be some sort of like SJW with her hat, like a Hillary Clinton hat. I see like a bit of rainbow hair there. There's a guy in the front that says "Stop Kenyan Economics Now." I have no idea what that's a reference to. I'm gonna be real, guys. Probably some boomer shit. Then him, this is like his character. He's like the ever tired, normal guy who has to deal with these crazy SJWs that just won't give him a break, you know? He's got the scruff, he's got the crazy hair, you know? He's just your relatable, average, millennial dude who's just fed up with all these ridiculous SJWs. You got the, I assume this is like a crazy feminist or something with a sign that says feelings rule over facts. Or feelings rule, facts rule. Okay. Then like a guy with blonde hair who looks offended about something. I don't know what this is. This looks like... Is this supposed to be like a feminist baby SJW who has harnessed the power of whining and has gathered all what appears to be... I'm pretty sure there's only 6 Infinity Stones, so there's a few... There's about 2 extra Infinity Stones there. Yeah, and then there's like a construction worker guy here. I don't know. These seem to be like the cast of his show. And I guess here there's like an SJW like professor dude who's like doubled over in pain because I assume he's just very offended at the existence of FreedomToons here or something. Okay. Very 2016. I like it. It's a big throwback.
I'm a white ally. Hey, what, whitey? How do you know you're really advocating for what black people want?
Okay. I want to be crystal clear first. These people exist. They do. Like the white libs that are like, I am the king of black people, you know? They exist, okay? Cringy people like this exist everywhere, but I promise you this isn't the majority of the the Black Lives Matter movement, okay? The majority of Black Lives Matter isn't a bunch of like white college kids who are like virtue signaling how much they love black people and marching out on the street or trying to like co-opt it into something that it's not. It's mostly black people, mostly young people who are displeased with the behavior of the police in this country and the institutions and the systemic racism that we are able to openly acknowledge and trying to call it out and are protesting for change. That's the vast majority of people marching with BLM. But hit me up.
Of course I know what people of color want.
Did you go into black neighborhoods and take polls so you know whether or not you're representing their views?
What? Wait, if you're white and you're marching with BLM. Also, like, this is an animation, so we kind of have to like analyze what's happening here. So what is this? Like a statue of? I mean, I don't think that's Robert E. Lee or that other fucking Confederate general. That looks like it could be like Washington or something. I don't know. I can't tell by the animation style. But I hate statue. Do we have to have the statue discourse? Do I have to do it? Do I have to explain why the statue thing is fine? Do I have to do it? The statues are built to honor people. They aren't meant to preserve history. We don't build statues of somebody and then that's how we know what they look like, right? We don't like that's not how we honor history, or that's not how we record history. It's how we honor history, right? So if you have a statue of somebody who did some really fucked up shit, you're honoring them. And if it's the case of like a Confederate general, somebody who was a traitor of America, who fought to preserve the institution of slavery, then you have big stone and metal statues standing in the middle of cities that were built to honor people who fought and probably died to preserve the institution of slavery. Imagine being a black person. Actually, many of you probably don't have to imagine it. You probably just are. Imagine being a black person and walking down the street and seeing a big fucking statue of the guy who fought relentlessly to make it so that people of your skin color could continue to be held as slaves and viewed as objects rather than people. Imagine how that is. So yeah, maybe it is okay to pull these statues down. Also, notice how like all the people in the background are white. Hold on, let's I'm pretty sure in like all of the footage you would see of the statues getting pulled down, aren't most of them black? Wait, no, I know most of the people in the videos are black because the white supremacist types bring up those clips and they show them as like, look at all these animalistic black people, these thugs, you know? And they show the videos of it to say, oh, look how terrible black people are. So I know that this isn't true. So this is just basically a straw man. God, these videos get so many views too. 104,000 views, 18,000 upvotes, and 193 downvotes. God, this like shitty right libertarian like straw man of the left 2016 anti-SJW light bullshit gets so many views. It's such an effective grift. It's depressing. Also, implying that if you're like a white... let's go back to like what the original claim was here. Implying that if you're like a white person marching with BLM, you're speaking over the black people that don't agree with BLM. And how can you know if you're speaking for black people? Did you go to a black neighborhood and poll them on what they think? Or isn't it like 75% of Americans at this point are in favor of BLM? It's like a ridiculously high amount, like an unprecedented high amount of people are in support of BLM at this moment. What was the number? Yo, chat, hit me up. What was the percentage? I don't feel like looking it up right now. I'll do it, actually. I'll do it so I can show it. Percentage of Americans in favor of BLM. Oh, Pew Research Center, right here. When was this published? This was June 12th, 2020, so this was this month. Deep partisan divides over factors underlying George Floyd demonstrations. Let's see. All right, here's a visualization here. So, public sees a mix of factors underlying recent protests. Views differ widely based on party. So if we go based on party, anger over the death of George Floyd after his arrest by police. So only about 60% of Republicans are angry over it. 70% of all adults are angry over it, and 80% of all Democrats are angry over it. Whew. Only 60% of Republicans are mad about the death of George Floyd after his arrest by police? Damn. And only 80% of Dems? That's actually surprising. Tensions between black people and police. I mean, that's pretty unanimous across the board. Except for Republicans seem not to believe that? That's weird. Long-standing concerns about the treatment of black people in this country. Republicans, no. People on the right do not seem to agree with this. But, in general, about 65% of all adults, when you account, like no matter what the party, across all parties that were surveyed, do believe that there are long-standing concerns about the treatment of black people in this country. And on the left, you have, or like Democrats, you have 84%. Some people taking advantage of the situation to engage in criminal behavior. Only about 39% of Dems believe this, only about 59% of adults believe this, and about 82% of Republicans believe it. So it seems like it's a pretty partisan issue. People on the right don't like it. Generally, if you're like an adult person who is surveyed, you're in favor of these marches, and if you're a Republican, then you're very, very much not in favor of it. So, yeah, I guess that's the polling we can do. That's the closest thing we have to polling. I believe, like just in general, they did a survey. It's like over 75% of Americans are in favor of the Black Lives Matter protests. Also, holy shit, we're about to hit 500 viewers. I love it.
Presenting their views?
Totally! I was like, what do you want white America to know? And they were like, the nuclear family is totally an oppressive social construct. And gender is fluid. Get used to it, cracker!
Putting that aside, what is this? So, the first claim was, did you go to black neighborhoods and survey black people to see what they thought of the Black Lives Matter protests and whether or not they agree with your message? And then it cuts to him doing that, that's obviously supposed to be like a rhetorical question when a conservative asks somebody that in real life. Like, I'm pretty sure they don't actually mean, well, did you go to a black neighborhood and ask people if they actually agree with the message that you're pushing? Like, holy shit, that would be... And so now it's like, oh, he did do it, and he went to a black family, and now they're saying progressive things. And like the dad is wearing a shirt that says the future is female. The kid is wearing a shirt that says nevertheless she persisted. Don't know what that's a reference to. Probably like Hillary Clinton or something. I have no clue. Someone in chat can tell me. All right.
So they wanted to get rid of the nuclear family.
Of course, dude,
Wait, an Abe Lincoln statue? Wait, has an Abe Lincoln statue actually been torn down in the BLM protests? I feel like that would be pretty surprising to me. Yeah? Okay. There's probably some story behind that, but alright.
causes cancer.
What a coincidence that they're...
Wait, hold on, what?
Cancer.
What a... So they wanted to get rid of the nuclear family.
Of course, dude, it causes cancer.
What a...
What? Okay. That's... I guess that's just a joke there, so we'll move on.
What a coincidence that their politics aligned exactly with those of a white upper middle class liberal arts student.
I know, it's weird.
Wait. This is just like a fabricated, like, story. I guess we can try to examine the narrative behind it, but it stopped being arguments now and is just like a imaginary line of dialogue and memes now. Like, okay, now we have Mr. T. So, like, what are the arguments now? Is it just now it's Antifa there? Look, guys, it's our boys. Look at them. It's our boys. Hypers. It's our fucking boys over there. Wait, no, for real though. Are there any arguments here?
Weird. It's like they're the perfect tool, group of people for the left to care about and help.
That is weird, considering they tend to be more conservative on social issues like gay marriage.
Oh, wait, no, this is actually a good point. This is a real argument I can acknowledge here. So, back during the civil rights movement, back in, like, the 60s, when they were trying to abolish segregation and, like, redlining and all that bullshit, like, a lot of big black civil rights movements actually allied with really conservative movements like Latino gangs and stuff like that, apparently. Not necessarily because they agreed on like, political issues, like, you know, one being really conservative, the other being pretty, like, progressive, right? But because they were all victims of white supremacy. Unless you're making the case that white supremacy is a inherently white or conservative thing, in which case I would probably agree. which seems to be the implication here, though I don't think he realizes it. The issues that we're talking about with BLM aren't progressive versus conservative, it's black people are dying or being harmed at a disproportionate rate, and that's an issue we need to acknowledge and do something about. Now, that has nothing to do with the other political opinions of those people. Now, don't get me wrong, most of the people marching are probably going to be progressive on other issues, right? But this isn't an argument against the idea of marching against police brutality and systemic racism. Conservative black people can be against racism as well.
Shut up, Chubby! Now is the time for white people to be quiet and listen to black people repeat leftist talking points created by white people.
And what if...
Wait, is it just white people? Wait, I thought it was white people talking over black people at these protests. So now it's black people reiterating talking points made by white people? Wait, is it supposed to be like leftist philosophers were mostly white? Like Marx, Lenin, and all that shit were white people? And now black people are apparently repeating them now? Wait, but I thought it was white people that were all in the BLM protests. That's why all the people in the background are white, like anarchist, SJW types. Okay.
If a black person disagrees with BLM?
And you ain't black.
Seems circular.
Okay, now, if a black person okay, every black person I've heard that disagrees with BLM has the same arguments as every white person I've heard that disagrees with BLM. They're like bootlickers. They're cop bootlickers. They don't care about police brutality. They don't give a shit. Which is bad. Which is racist. Fuck them.
No, it isn't! Because our solutions
God,
will help black...
God, it's hot in my room. Holy shit. God, I hate Florida so much. Even with my AC blasting over there. I'm on fire right now. We gotta lean out of the chair, because my back is getting stuck.
black people.
Oh, wow. Well, no one else is claiming that.
I know, right?
Wait, what?
Because our solutions will help black people.
Oh, wow. Well, no one else is claiming that.
I know, right?
Psych!
Yeah! Got him! Psych!
Alright, well, my point is, a lot of people have different solutions to the problems black people are facing.
That doesn't make them immune from criticism.
And by the way, the most obvious solution, based on the data, is promoting two-parent homes. But you refuse to do that.
Wait! Hold on. Oh god, I'm gonna kill myself. Oh my god, this is the Sargon of... This person totally watches Sargon of Akkad. Hold on. One in chat if you think this person watches Sargon of Akkad. Because that is the most backwards fucking logic in the world, okay? So the reason why the data shows that two-parent households are more successful is for a variety of reasons. There's more behind it than that. Just encouraging... This is the Sargon of Akkad argument. Just encourage black people to get married and stay together, and their problems will be solved. No. The reason why the data shows that most successful families are two-parent households is because, one, you have two parents working in the house, you know, producing money. You usually have two sources of income. Even if you don't, then you have another parent that is around to watch the children. I mean, presumably there would be children. It's a family, right? You have a parent around to watch the children. You probably have more money to be able to afford a better school. You probably have more money to be able to afford daycare and other extracurricular activities, which just infinitely increase your chances of success in life. It's not just, oh, if black people get married, all their problems will be solved. Most of the reasons why black people tend not to get married are based on already existing factors extringent of that issue, such as disproportionate policing. There's a lot of black dads in prison who have a girlfriend or wife with their kid living without them. You know, there's a lot of that. I promise you. The data backs this up. Wait, it's so funny to me when these like libertarian, like right libertarian people will be like, well, this is my position, and everybody has their own ideas, and you know, that no one's free of criticism. It's like, yeah, fuck no one's free of criticism. Nobody's arguing that. The position that the left holds currently is the academically held up position that these are the issues that exist for the black community. These are the problems that we need. These are the ways that we can solve it, and these are the issues that are causing it. You know, fucking redlining, segregation, things like that. What am I watching right now? Also, fuck, are we about to hit 600 viewers? If we hit 600 viewers today, I'll be very happy.
Stop trying to hijack the movement with your religious rhetoric. We hijacked it first with our commie rhetoric. Ugh.
Fine. You want to talk about...
I will... This is gonna piss some of you guys off, but I will give them this one. There are a lot of people... I've seen them on Twitter. I don't think they're the majority of people, but I have seen them on Twitter that are saying that like these BLM protests are the revolution. Like this is the revolution. This is the communist revolution. Those people, they're out there, they're marching against capitalism, whether they know it or not. And I'm like, okay, listen, guys, I'm a commie too. I love me some communism, but these marches are very explicitly anti-police brutality. These marches aren't like, we want communism, capitalism needs to go down. It's, we want black people to stop being murdered by the police. So I'll admit, there are some people who are trying to hijack the movement in that respect. I'll give them that one. But it is certainly not the majority of people, or even like white leftists marching with BLM.
About the part of BLM actually concerned with black lives?
You stand for actual victims like George Floyd, but then cheapen it by advocating for guys who got shot trying to kill cops, like Michael Brown.
You repeat, hands up.
Well, I mean... Pepe.
Don't shoot, even though Eric Holder's Justice Department debunked that entire narrative. You claim unarmed black men are constantly killed by the police, but it only happened 8 times in 2019.
And some
Oh god. No, this is Sargon logic. This is such Sargon logic. Okay, so for one, I'm not going to take anything he just said at face value, and I'm too lazy to go out of my way right now and look into each one of these claims that he's made. So we're just gonna look at the basic like argument that he is making. That's having him arrive at this viewpoint, right? So the argument he's making is that there were only a few cases of police brutality that happened last year. It doesn't happen that much if you look at the total numbers. Sure. But when we're talking about an issue existing that disproportionately affects a particular group, we don't look at the total numbers. We look at the per capita numbers, right? You look at how many white people compared to black people, percentage-wise, face some form of police discrimination or police violence. Not to mention, the BLM protests aren't happening over just police murders. Those are just the most extreme instances of police's mistreatment of people of color. There's the disproportionate policing, there's the injustice within the court system and the racism there, which is undeniable. Holy shit. Actually, no, because I feel like this is a good place to promote it. Vosh actually just upgraded his research document recently with the help of Roserist, who's somebody from his community, on the institutional racism section. And it is just like a fucking treatise of data and studies, about 6 pages of data and studies backing up the undeniable scope of racism within the justice system. It's actually insane. There is so much data and consensus behind this. There is no debate here that the justice system is extremely racist and that black people are disproportionately affected at an unbelievable amount in the justice system, way more than white people. I think one example right off the top of my head that was backed up by the data was that a black person is about 6 times more likely, I may be wrong in the exact number, but it's like a ridiculous amount, is like way more likely to be given the death sentence if the person they committed the crime on or like murdered was white than if they were black. If it was black on black violence, they're way less likely to get the death sentence, way more likely to get it if they killed a white person. That's just one example off the top of my head. The data backs this up. This is academically sourced, you know? Like these shitty, like, these like, oh, haha, relatable libertarians that say, oh, but there were only 8 instances of police violence last year against black people. That's not how people collect data. That's just anecdote. It's not how data works. All right.
Those were self-defense.
Shut up! Your insolence enrages me! Boys! Attack! Dang coronavirus!
Well, there we go, guys. Holy shit. We made it through a FreedomToons video. Oh, God. I don't think this guy's like a... I mean, I don't think this dude's like a... Like, I don't think this guy hates black people or anything like that. But he's definitely a fucking chud. And he's probably not the smartest dude when it comes to political issues. But hey, that was pretty fun. And we're about to hit 600 viewers. You love to see it.